in my high school career, I believe like the engineering classes and computer classes, um, they've really kind of helped me stay engaged in school. A lot of times I'll find like, you'll take your math classes, you'll take your English classes, and those are just kind of, they're traditional classes. But with like the computer classes, there's always something new, and in my case, it's something that I could use for my future job. Um, and they're kind of like, they're usually more interesting and not invigorating, but just more intriguing. Like a lot of times you're doing projects and things that are just more interesting than what you normally find in the traditional classrooms. So for my future plans, so I'm planning on going into cybersecurity. And although I haven't done anything necessarily firewall or really cybersecurity related stuff here, I've taken classes like, well, game design right now, that kind of helps me kind of practice programming and formatting my code really. So it'll be easier to read if in the future I'm going to be programming some other stuff in assembly and stuff like that. But it's just kind of really given me a chance to enjoy computers in and outside of school because I mean, most of my free time at home, I'm building computers, installing random operating systems and stuff like that. And then here, I get to continue doing a lot of that stuff and working with computers and yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that they, I mean, technology is becoming super prevalent. It's going to be in the future even more so than it already is in our everyday lives. And especially if you're planning on going into like an engineering or like software development role and for your job in the future, getting that experience in high school and early on kind of gives you kind of the roots and the basic skills you'll need in the job in your jobs later on. Well, the major thing would probably be the flipped classroom. You've talked about that before. And I find it's actually, although there are some times where time management is an issue, um, I think for the most part, being able to have all your like lessons and everything online are really helpful because not only can you work at home, you can also work at your own pace during school. And so just being able to have it all accessible is really nice. The other thing too is just being able to work at your own pace. With like the incremented videos, you don't have to worry about getting everything written down with like a lecture. You'll be able to rewind the YouTube video, make sure you get what you're kind of like, maybe answer some questions. And if not, I mean, you're always, the instructor is still in the classroom, so you can ask them. Also, I mean, you're just dealing with different mediums. Like with traditional classrooms, well, now we're working with Chromebooks and stuff, but beforehand it was paper and, reading books and stuff. But in here, in computer classrooms, you're working with like either robotics, you're working with programming languages like C++, Game Maker, which is Delphi, I guess. I don't know. Like it's an interesting contrasting sort of experience compared to like your traditional classrooms. Usually they're more interesting, at least for someone like me who likes computer stuff, and they're much more engaging and usually more fun because they involve more projects that you get to see the fruits of your labor, like whether it be a game or some random program that you made that you've been working on for a couple of months, and you get to see that actually, you work towards that step, and then when you finally get something that works, a finished product, it's for me at least a lot more satisfying than writing a really long paper. So yeah. Um, let's see. Well, in there's probably two times in game design too this year. I feel like with the Bomberman game, although it's kind of frustrating with the networking and stuff, I feel like that gave me a little bit more experience with like TCP over IP stuff and like getting just networking stuff in general. I'm not going to go into the specifics, but it was definitely interesting getting that working. Even if it didn't work as smooth as I wanted to in the end, it still gave me some experience and stuff. The other time would probably be in computer hardware one in ninth grade, funny enough. Just being able to like work on the computers during school, there's just something about that. It's kind of like mechanics working on cars. Like they want to do it at work, so they'll do it at home. And so being able to really practice and put to use what I had done at home but do it for a grade this time and for something that I could help my peers out with and tutor them. I feel like that was also another really big thing for me. So. So I now have a much better grasp on the game maker language that I did before. And, even though I won't be using game maker for, some stuff in the future, the formatting and stuff I've learned from that and like just how variables work and stuff, even though I kind of knew those beforehand, it's kind of just given me a better solid knowledge. I feel like a lot of the stuff I've done in school has really just been a refinement of what I've done at home. It's provided me more experience, being able to work with others in a classroom too, rather than sitting in a dark room, typing away late into the night. It's been nice to collaborate with other people, especially if they're also into computers and coding and stuff. So, yeah.